What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Honest Tattooer podcast. My name is John Mesa, and I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Truiano.
What up, what up, what up, what up?
And we have some very good and special people with us today. So, for the people that don't know you, tell us your name, where you're from, how long you've been tattooing, and what kind of tattoos you enjoy doing.
Okay, cool. My name is Creepy Jason, also known as Jason Lynn. I've been tattooing 20 years. I was on Ink Master twice and love doing new school tattoos. New school tattoos is what got me into doing tattoos.
Yeah.
And it was real hard to sell new school tattoos for a long time. And like Ink Master is what changed that for me. It was a lot of deer skulls and it was a lot of dream catchers for a long time, man. And then and finally I get to do like stupid new school tattoos all fucking day.
Well, that's good, man. That's freaking awesome. I mean, like, Ink Master was a crazy experience, but you did pretty great in it, man.
Yeah.
I must say.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a pretty crazy experience. Like overall, it was probably one of the most stressful things I've ever done.
It absolutely is.
Yes.
And on the couch this week.
That ain't Gabe.
Wait.
I'm Heather Hellion. My name's Heather. I've been tattooing about 14 years, and I tattoo a bunch of different styles.
Well, hell yeah. Welcome to the pod, Heather. It's been a while. And if people don't know, Heather was like on episode 2.
No, don't tell them that.
Was it like episode 2, I believe?
Might have been. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was like episode 2.
Episode 2, which to us is episode 2. I think to everybody else is episode 1.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So bravo. Welcome back. It's been too long.
This is episode 76.
I know. That's pretty wild. So how's everybody been?
Good, man. I just got back from vacation.
How was that?
I'm crispy. I was just telling Heather, Trader Joe's does not sponsor the show, but maybe they will have to hear this. So me and my family used Trader Joe's spray sunblock for 5 days down in the blistering sun in Florida. No one got burnt, but after 4 of us using it for 5 days, we ran out and we had to switch to a different brand. That day that we switched to a different brand, we all got burnt.
Damn.
Trader Joe's to the rescue. Go get their
put that on your tats,
Yeah.
dude, especially because the summer's about to blast on everybody right now.
Yeah.
Well, so many things going on. I feel like the main thing that we want to talk about this week is, aside from tattooing, as artists, you have opportunities to create new things that still are art related, but not necessarily tattoos. Some people are very, very good about branching out. I feel like, Matt, you're excellent about just converting your art into a business. I feel like you've done a great job about, you can do your digital paintings and actually sell them consistently, and it is a business.
Right.
And Jason, we were talking about it, and you have something of your own.
Yes. I have a board game coming out soon.
Cool.
Yeah, I started a board game in 2020 during the pandemic. It was like my something to do to keep me from going crazy. So I spent 3 years making the board game. It's like a 2 to 4 player RPG tabletop.
Cool.
So it's just kind of like a roll and move, like an old school style board game, where you have a goal, you get the middle of the board and you beat a boss, and then you get the treasure and you try to go back home with it. All the while, everybody else is trying to get that thing from you. So then it becomes very PvP heavy kind of game.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Cool.
it's a competitive strategy game.
And is there like a board, or is it kind of like Dungeons and Dragons type style where there's not necessarily a board, but there's
a huge board.
Sick.
Yeah. It's 22 by 30. So there's 12 playable characters that are all pre-made. They all come with their own miniatures. There's 360 cards in the games. I created over 500 pieces of art for this game.
Oh shit.
Yes, awesome. That's what it took me years of just drawing these little cards.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yes.
And I feel like we're so lucky, man, to be tattooers, because we can put what to me feels like it's a lot of effort, but it's really not. Like, how many reviews do you have to make to a tattoo before the person says, yeah, I love it? You know what I'm saying? In comparison to, like, if you're a commercial artist, sometimes you have to submit that drawing multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
If you're doing like commercial illustration and you're trying to do something for a client, it's like, send it. And they're like, oh, we love it, but can you change this and this and this and that? And it's like whole new drawing, whole new drawing. And that can keep going over and over and over until it gets to what they want. Because it's, as tattooers, I feel like we get to do stuff that is like, oh, this is what I think looks good. And the person just trusts you. They're like, yeah, your vision is sick, but commercial drawing and commercial art just works different.
No, with commercial art, you typically have to submit 3 to 5 thumbnails, which they can't just be like little doodles. You have to be able to show the full concept of what is in your head, so that the person who's on the other end knows what you're thinking. So they have to be pretty refined drawings. You have to do 3 to 5 of them and be like, these are different ideas. Tell me which one you like. And then the one that they pick, then you have to do
more
variations of that.
Yeah.
And then like narrow it down, like you said. Yeah, it's a long process.
It's a long process. So fucking love your jobs, guys. If you're a tattooer, just thank God that you're doing that shit.
Yeah, thank God you're tattooing, because those guys are going to be out of work pretty soon thanks to AI illustration.
I don't know. I mean, maybe some of them.
I think it's definitely going to put a big damper. I think as tattooers, because we're so hands-on in what we do literally, it can't be replicated that well by a machine yet.
Yeah.
That we're going to be needed, whereas digital artists, man, I think are going to, I know this is like a completely different subject, but I think they're going to be hurting, man.
I think for maybe smaller publications, like if there's like, let's say a book publication that they have a smaller budget, then yeah, maybe they'll head to AI and not have to worry about paying an illustrator. But I think all the bigger companies that they have artists that know that this is their livelihood, I think they're going to continue paying artists to do their covers and illustrations.
I've seen just in the little board game maker community that I'm in, that a lot of just individuals, people who just want to make a game, they're outsourcing the AI. So like that's a computer program that got paid instead of a person that got paid. You know, it's like, it's not all big companies. It's those little guys, you know, that's how they pay their bills too.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say that it's not happening.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel like it's already in the move, and we're still in like the Nintendo version.
Yeah, this is the beginning of it, and it's already making an impact.
Yeah. Not even Nintendo. We're an Atari version of it.
Yeah.
Like we're still an Atari version of this shit. And
man, I feel like we talk about AI a lot, but did you see the new ChatGPT text image stuff that's coming out with 4.0?
Text image? No.
So you know how if you try to make a sign, or if you try to do like a billboard or something with Midjourney, or even with the previous ChatGPT, we're using DALL-E, like text on there is not really that great.
It looks like Russian.
Yeah. Now it's legit. Like I just saw a picture of a guy writing on a blackboard, chalk, and everything that he was writing was handwritten, but it was like perfect legible. It was exactly what the prompt told it to say.
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
Writing on that is legit now. So they're saying now that you can even make like what are they called? Texts. I don't know. They're called like text diagrams or whatever. If you want to do like a pamphlet or whatever and show, you know, some images, do some text describing what these images are on a pamphlet, like it'll lay everything out for you, images and text now, and say exactly what you want it to say.
That's phenomenal.
That's a graphic designer, right?
It's a graphic designer.
It's a graphic designer.
Yeah. Damn. See?
I know.
It's wild.
It's wild. You know, I don't think the AI is going to start doing tattoos, but it could definitely do the before the tattoo part.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's weird, man. Her and I stumbled on one Meta AI owned Instagram account called the Dungeon Master, and it was Snoop Dogg was the Dungeon Master, and when you send it a message, it opens up a new message thing, and you start a quest, and whatever you put in, it responds, and it's completely AI. And I was testing it with all kinds of stuff, like threatening people and grabbing people and casting spells, and it knew exactly what I was doing, and it responded in a way, and then challenged me more. But it kept the quest going.
Okay.
Yeah, so it sent me on a quest. I was in a tavern and I met a guy, and it was like whatever I put in, it had a reply to it to keep the quest going.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
That's good.
It was wild. I was like, man, the only thing it's missing is an audio video component.
It's coming.
It's coming quick.
It'll be there.
Yep.
So as far as like new school tattoos, what got you into new school?
I started tattooing in 2004. That's when my apprenticeship was, man. Like new school tattoos were cool then. Like I got into tattooing in the 90s. Dudes like Jimmy Litwalk, those are the guys that I idolized when I got into tattooing. So like that's pretty much it, man. Like that's what I thought was cool.
And it stayed.
And it's fake. Yeah, I still think it's cool, man.
It's
I said
fake,
I'm a diehard. Like I love new school tattoos, man. Like I'll die on that hill doing cartoony tattoos all day.
Yeah, I saw that like healed. Fuck, what's the name of that clown? The scary clown.
Oh, Art the Clown, the Terrifier.
The Terrifier, and that was like the coolest, cutest Terrifier.
It's weird. It's fun. Yeah.
It looked great, man. It healed really, really good.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
You said Ink Master helped to get you to do more new school because based on where you tattoo and where you grew up, where you kind of started your career, that's not necessarily what people are coming to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in a pretty rural part of Maryland. So
Yeah.
we have more cows than people. That's what I like to joke, but it's true. So we get a lot of rednecky tattoos, a lot of Browning logos and that kind of stuff. And that's what I paid the bills living off of that kind of stuff that I didn't want to do for a long time because that's just how it was for me.
Yeah.
When I learned to tattoo in a street shop, so I just did what walked in the door. People walked in the door and they wanted to get something that I didn't want to do. I was still making an appointment for it if I didn't have time to do it.
I feel like those are the moments where tattooing is a job, you know, where you're like, I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to do it because that's what people want and I need to pay my bills.
Yes.
So I'm going to do this tattoo.
It did. It felt like a job for a long time. And that's what one of the huge things I'm grateful for Ink Master for is it gave me a great opportunity to rebrand myself as a tattooer and say, this is what I want to do. Like, this is it. And it brought my clientele in from just the county into, you know, I get people that come from across the country.
That's awesome.
Tattoo, and I was like, to do what I want to do.
Which seasons were you on?
I was on season 12 and 14.
Okay.
So you was on season 12, was it the old judges?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so how would you compare? Because
Cool.
The biggest thing when I like look through comments and stuff like that, almost everybody's like, "Bring the old judges back." You know, like that is their biggest gripe. You know, they love the old judges, like the diehard Ink Master fans. From your experience, what was the big change or difference between the old judges and the new judges?
I really like the new judges. I like them a lot. I like the old judges. I thought they did a great job. But I feel like the old judges represented the way tattooing used to be. And the new judges represent tattooing how it is now and where it is going. And it's a better representation of what the
current
tattoo world.
That's true. I agree. I felt that just from being in it. And I'm like, oh yeah, like these guys look at things completely differently.
Correct.
And they have like they're not so like rigid with like the old rules of tattooing. They're a little bit more.
How long has Ryan been tattooing?
Damn, I don't know.
He's been around for a while?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because Nico's been around for a long time.
He's
Which is
been different for
surprising
a
that
long
he's
time.
like, I shouldn't say surprising, but it's cool that he's more into let's judge in the new way of tattooing.
And I mean, when Nico started tattooing, he was doing new school. That was also his thing. New school tattoos was his thing. And then when realism started kind of taking off, he was at the forefront of that, you could say. And I remember when realism started kind of becoming like a thing and people were doing a lot more, it like we were arguing the shop of like who's better at realism between him and Mike DeVries. That was like the thing. They're like, I think this guy does it better. We used to argue about that shit all the time. And I mean, now I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Nico's like just exponentially got better at it.
I don't hear anything about Mike DeVries anymore. I see maybe once in a while I'll see a picture of him like tattooing like a Jolly Rancher on someone's like small little piece, but I don't see anything about him anymore.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Last that I heard of him, he was tattooing and not tattooing. He was on a podcast with Shine. I had to like ask him a lot of questions about stuff, but that's about it. I really don't hear about him much at all. Also, I feel like tattooing has shifted so much from being something that you heard about through like the magazines and stuff like that, which was very kind of, I don't want to say biased, but like, you know, it was definitely more of like a clubby kind of environment. Like all the people that would get into all the different publications were almost the same ones everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I feel like now the internet it's a free for all where like it's up to you to really stand out, you know, in Instagram world.
Oh, and that game seems to change daily on what you have to do.
It changes all the
out.
time.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I come from the Instagram and social media. Like I remember tattooing before Facebook.
Yeah.
When I had a MySpace when I started tattooing, you know, and that was cool. And it was completely different. Like, you were stoked when the first time I saw one of my tattoos in a magazine. I framed it. It was hanging up on my station. You know, it was cool as shit to me. And it's like, is that something tattooers care about anymore?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and then I'll see people post like, "Oh, I'm in this magazine." I'm like, so what?
Yeah, it's different. And as I say, tattooing has changed a lot in the past 10 years. And those new judges represent a lot better what it is. You can't just do good tattoos anymore. You know, it's just as much about your personality as it is your workmanship.
But what about the people that are like, "Nah, man, it should just be my work, bro. I shouldn't have to fucking entertain you."
Dude, trust me, I get it, man. I wish it was that way, but it isn't anymore. And I think social media is a big part of that. Like, we all are salesmen now because every tattooer has an equal voice, so to speak. Like, we're all on the same platforms. We're all showing the same pictures. We're all doing the same thing as everybody else. What are you going to do that's different from everybody else?
I think that's perfect too, especially the fact that whether you have 1,000 followers or 100,000 followers, if the 1,000 follower person posts the same picture that the 100,000 follower person posts, they're going to get the same amount of reach, because most of the people that are seeing your content aren't people who are following you anyway. So like you said, everybody's got the same voice now.
Everybody's got the same voice. And also, the more followers you have, you're going to reach less people.
Yes.
You know, like, that's why they say like something like accounts between over 100,000 to 200,000 will have almost the same reach as somebody that has, 10,000 followers. You know, it's just, and then I saw something about Instagram's going to do something in the next 3 to 4 months where they're still going to dedicate a push for smaller follower accounts. Still, at this point, the algorithm still takes into account how many people liked something, as far as amount, but not so much of how much they actually spent time looking or valuing the content that was posted. Mm-hmm. So they're going to change it now. So smaller accounts still have an opportunity to have their content go as viral or reach as many people that are non-followers and stuff like that. It's still, we're going to see how it happens, but it's something that's supposedly that they're working on because they've been trying to do that for a while.
You know what the craziest part is the fact that we have to care about shit like that.
I mean, you don't have to care.
I mean, but you do. I mean, if you want to stay relevant, if you want to stand out of the crowd, you have to.
That's the key.
You have to pay attention to it, and you have to market yourself.
Heather,
Otherwise,
what do you think over there?
Don't put me on the spot.
You don't have to care, but you definitely will do better if you do care.
Yeah.
It's a matter of being able to, work doesn't end when the tattoo's done. Nowadays you have to do the tattoo. You have to make sure you get a good photo. You have to make sure that you make a good post for that photo.
Or a video.
Yeah.
And then you edit the video.
Yes. There's a lot more work. So even if you tattoo for, 3 to 4 hours, you're still going to have another hour at least of
editing
and thinking of everything else you're going to have to do.
All the post-production.
Yeah. And some people don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, we said it last week too, that it's not just tattooers who are doing this. It's every industry. I was listening to a podcast today and these guys they're YouTubers.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how they got into what their YouTube channels is about woodworking, and they got into the YouTube world because they loved woodworking and that's what they wanted to do. But they're spending almost just as much time editing their videos than they are actually making the products that they're showcasing.
Yes.
So, and they were like, this is not what I signed up for, but this is a part of the job.
It's part of the job.
Yeah. And then you're working is what you're doing. You're not doing this for fun anymore. Now you're doing it because it's your job.
Yeah.
And is that even worth it then at that point? Great. You're getting paid to do something you love, but then you love it less now. So
if you want to keep making money, it's worth it.
Yeah.
If you want to keep growing,
I know it's
making
tough.
money.
Yeah.
It's worth it. And, given the fact that, with all of this comes a lot more people getting into the industry. So you have to be able to stand out, and I think that when you go across and a feed and you see so many good tattoos. What will separate you from all those other good tattoos is you.
Right.
Is the fact that you're doing them. So
It's the personal connection.
the personal connection.
People want that personal, that, it's from me.
Yes. And I think that if you're able to translate that into social media by just finding a way to build connection, to build community with other people, then you're going to do better.
Right.
Overall, you're just going to do better than the person that chooses to not interact, to not talk to people. I think it was funny. Not a lot of people responded to the question that you put out last week about like the people that put no DMs on their page.
I feel like we got a good amount. No, we didn't.
I don't remember. I didn't remember seeing a lot of people respond. Some people were just saying like they don't, they just won't engage.
Yeah. A lot of the comments that I read were people saying that the reason why they put no DMs is because they feel like the people who do DM are
Time wasters?
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily always true.
I mean, just people sending, videos and memes and, hey, how you're doing, that kind of stuff. I mean, who doesn't get that kind of
It
stuff?
racks up for sure.
Yeah, I get
Well,
it.
that was another thing too, that people are saying that I've got so many messages in my DM inbox from my friends sending me random stuff that it gets lost when somebody does DM me wanting to get an appointment, that I tend to not even see it.
Yeah. Plus, I like to filter all of my business like a funnel through my website. Like, I don't like to talk business on Facebook or Instagram. If you want to make an appointment, go through the website because you won't fall through the cracks then.
But so if somebody does DM you, do you ignore it?
No. If somebody DMs me here's the thing. If it's a request, like the DM request, a lot of times I'll like look over and I'm like, if it's just a video or something, I'm not doing this because I don't want to start another communicating relationship with someone because I feel like I have to reply to them.
Yeah.
Because all the people who I do reply to, they keep messaging me, they send me stuff, and I'm like, okay, let me message this guy, let me message this guy. And I'm like, fuck, I'm on my phone. Ugh, and I fucking hate being on my phone.
I mean, I think the easiest thing is just to have an automated response. If
an auto response.
Just be like, hey, I don't
do that.
Yeah.
Just set it up. Be like, hey,
What?
if you want to get in touch with me about doing a tattoo, follow this link or send me an email, and then send them to wherever it is that you do all of your communications.
Oh, for sure.
So a link pops out right away. Like if you're thinking about, and they have the thing where when people go to like try to send you a message, it automatically have a list of your
Most commonly.
Whoa, you can do that too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no way. Nice. Okay.
So that way people are like,
Good tip.
how do you get tattooed by me? And you click on that and then your answer will be saved and it'll go right through
Dude,
there.
that's perfect. See, and that's the kind of shit that you need to do now, like as a tattooer. Like that would improve the way I do business better.
It'll save you time.
It'll save me time.
I feel like the way that I do things is a combination of like, I try to always make it feel personable, right? So I try to limit the amount of auto messaging that happens because I feel like I'm not establishing a relationship with the person or a level of connection. So even if somebody sends me a message and they're like, hey man, I really like your work, I want to get tattooed by you. Instead of just them having that auto message, I have something that's auto done and I have them saved in my shortcuts.
Right.
So, and there, I remember all my shortcuts,
Like,
you know.
hey buddy, 1.
And then it's like,
Hey, buddy,
yes.
2.
And then it's going to go boom and it's going to drop all the information. But before I drop that in, I'm like, hey man, yeah, dude, I'd love to. Like, what are you looking to get? They're going to give me the I want to get. I don't even read that shit.
But that only works if you see it.
Right.
So if you're one of those guys who has a lot of DMs from buddies just sending you a bunch of shit and that request gets hidden and all that, then the auto response kind of works.
Kind of works in your favor.
Well, I've experienced getting
Oh, there you are, Heather.
pretty far, like corresponding back and forth with people, like what's your idea? Where do you want to get it? Kind of like a semi-consultation through DM. And then all the like flooding of the memes and the shit, they'll fall through the cracks in the end. And I'm like, wait, where did that guy go or that girl go that wanted that piece? Like, I fucking missed out on a customer because I let them get mixed up with everything else.
That's why you got to flag those. That's what I do.
You can
Now I know.
flag it.
Yeah, you can flag it.
I usually, you have the general tab and I forget what the other tab is.
Primary.
And primary. So if you can use those as like clients other, so you can have, if it's a client, somebody that's interested in getting to immediately move it to the general tab, and or the primary one, whichever, it doesn't matter. I wish you could rename those, but you can't. Yeah. They just are what they are. But that's something that I've done to keep like inquiries and other shit, all the other shit. So it just moves a little faster. And that helps just get your shit organized. But I think it's important to, if somebody DMs you, to DM them back and for them to feel like they were acknowledged, not that they were just robot.
I definitely do that. But the sad part about that is once they get, like, I guess, pushed out, they probably feel ignored. Like I forgot them or they weren't that important,
Well, that's what it should be, very fast, where you go, you acknowledge, you talk, blah, and then you do the, hey, this is the process where you go. You send them a link to something. You send them to the website. You send them to your email. That way it goes fast. That way there's not it's like a one sitting conversation, not a multiple exchange of back and forth, because then it's going to get lost. So you have that initial like connection, you talk, the introduction, I'm glad you're interested in me. This is how you go about it. Instead of just like somebody goes like, hey man, I really want to get tattooed by you. And then it's just like auto message. It feels dry.
Yeah.
There's no like.
It's impersonal.
Yeah.
Do you hope Sammy's going to be a tattooer one day?
Do I hope? No. I mean, if he does, that's cool, but I don't really have any. My parents never pushed me in anything as far as like, oh, you have to do that. Actually, my mom, she made me go to college. She's like, I don't care what you do.
You're going to go to college.
You're going to go to college.
Right.
That was the only push that I ever got as far as like, this is what you need to do as an adult. So as far as what Sammy does, I don't even want him to go to college, to be honest with you.
Right. Oh, I don't want my kid to go to college.
Yeah.
Either. I feel like that's just a waste of time. Yeah. Man. That's a scam.
So whatever he does. That's cool. If he's happy, he's successful. That's good with me.
Yeah. But I mean, like being a tattooer is a pretty awesome job, man.
Yeah.
Like if you would want that for your son, right? You want your son to have like a great fucking job.
If he wants it.
Yeah.
If he likes it.
Yeah, man.
Because I feel like it's all about, I like it. Where there's people that would be like, oh, you sit there all day and you draw?
Yeah.
Then you get bored?
No.
I feel like most people think we have like rock star jobs and lifestyles, but it's a job.
It is a
In the
job.
end, everything becomes a job.
But I also think that everybody, like when we think of a rock star, right? Mm-hmm. We always think of the best version of a rock star. You don't think of the guy that's on tour in a weird bus with like some weird friends and they're all stinky because they've been on this bus for like a fucking 7-hour drive to go do a show. But when they're on stage, everybody that's on the crowd is like, oh, there's a rock star, they're killing it, but they're not living the rock star life.
Right.
And I think even in tattooing, same fucking thing.
Right. Like we're on stage right now, when I'm not on stage, I'm like, I got crumbs in my,
But even in like when you go do tattoo conventions, there's the guys that
you're showing off.
There's people that are there's people that got paid to attend that convention, and that's the truth. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but I know of people that have gotten paid 5 figures to be,
really,
yes,
like tattooers. No shit.
Yes.
Just so they
just
can
to go or
advertise.
to
just
attend? Are they actually
have a booth
tattooing there also?
to tattoo?
Oh, they're tattooing there if they want to.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
And I'm talking about like high name tattoo people that are famous tattooers that those promoters know that if this tattooer shows up, other tattooers are going to want to do this show. It gives the show credibility. And if it's a very famous tattooer that people just want to take a picture with, they're definitely going to freaking put them on the cover. They're going to put them on the fucking flyer. They're going to, that's the trade-off. I'm going to pay this tattooer. I'm going to put him on the flyer. I'm going to put him on everything because people are going to attend this show. And they get paid bread, bro.
Interesting. I think I may have been around one of these. I don't know if this was the case, but I was at the Pittsburgh tattoo convention this past year, and Jack Rudy was in the booth across from me, and I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, I can't fucking believe he's going to be here. He just hung out all weekend long, just selling t-shirts and talking to people. Yeah. But it was cool as shit. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe
fucking Jack Rudy
guy is here right now. Like, I didn't think I'd ever see him at a tattoo convention in Pittsburgh.
It makes me think of oh man, why can't I think of the name? The Larry David show.
What? Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. When he got paid to go to that party.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, as long as you fulfill your duties, and I'll pay you. But
he'll pay you, yeah.
You got to be cordial. He's like, I am cordial. I am cordial.
He doesn't know how to be cordial at all. He's like, I've never been cordial. But fuck, man. Jack Rudy's one of those dudes that every time that I've seen him, he just feels intimidating.
He is intimidating. He's got an intimidating presence.
Yes.
Yeah. Like he can still handle himself in a fight.
Yeah, dude, he just looks intimidating. I'm like, I don't want to go up to that guy. I feel like I'm in trouble.
He's a big guy, right?
He's a tall guy.
Yeah.
He's a tall guy.
Can I tell you an experience I had? So I was at a convention and I was like shaking when he came up to me and he's like, I was watching you tattoo and I just want to thank you for continuing the tradition of tattooing so beautifully. And I was like, oh, you're like freaking out. I got a picture with him and I'm like posing all like... But that was like, wow,
what were you doing? What tattoo were you doing?
I was doing a circus sea lion on one of those like cute little pedestals, that like a vintage thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels good.
Did.
That feels good. I was at a convention in overseas and I had like Philip Liu walk over and just look at him. He's like, all he did was do one of those like, that looks good. And I was like, yes. I was like, yes. I'm like, I don't need anything else. That's fine.
That's it. I'm done. I quit.
That's good. That's good. You know, but if my son's 7, I hope that I can get him to tattoo one day because I feel like he'd be good at it. He's obsessive about things, and I feel like with his autism, it'll just make him even better.
Does he draw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes to draw. He likes to draw a lot of weird shit too.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Let's draw a lot of weird shit. I think he'll be good at it. Like he'll be very obsessive about things and everything has to be perfect.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Sammy likes to draw. He's 6 years old. He's 6 years old, so obviously it's not good. But I don't know. I feel like his cousin, when he was 6 years old, his drawings were a lot better than what Sammy's doing right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe things will get better, but I don't know. I can't see it.
I can't see it at the moment. Like, shit, dude. I feel like my drawing sucked until I was like 20 something.
I feel like my drawing still sucked. So here's actually a conversation I want to have. Do you guys feel like, this keeps falling. Do you guys feel like your work, how old are you?
44.
Okay.
Wait, I'm 44, right? 44.
All right. So I'm 38. You're 38.
38.
John, you're 41. All right. Do you guys feel like your work, and I mean like your drawing and your tattooing, but do you feel like anything has progressed in the last 5 years? Do you feel like you plateaued now that you're getting older? I personally feel like my work has almost declined a little bit in the last couple of years.
Really? I feel like I've been with you for the last couple of years and I feel like you've gotten just better. And this is from the outside looking at you.
Yeah. I don't know. That's not how I feel.
I feel like you've gotten more efficient and better at communicating with your art style.
I think the stylistic choices that I've made in my mind, I'm trying to be more efficient. So I'm making decisions that are simpler. And I think that's why I think that my work is not as good as it was.
And I think that makes for better tattoos. I feel like the more you learn to simplify your ideas and your thoughts, that's what makes a better tattoo, which is the total opposite of if you're trying to make just like a painting or art. It's like, oh, push it as much as you can. But with a tattoo, it's like be as direct and efficient as you can, and it'll make a very easy to read, strong tattoo that's going to last and look the way that it's supposed to for as long as possible. Yeah. The more you try to like squeeze into it, and I feel like the faster it'll kind of lose its strength. That's just my opinion.
Coming from a traditionally taught artist, realism is always in the back of my mind. And the more realistic you can make something, the better the artwork is. So I guess that's where I'm thinking, like, now that I'm simplifying things, I'm making them more far away from realism. That's where I feel like I'm kind of taking a step back.
Do you look at stuff that you did before and look at it as better than what you're doing now?
Some of them, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there was that level of detail that I'm not including into my work now.
And do you think that's just like complacency, or do you think like you enjoy tattooing more now the way you're doing it now?
Both. I think a lot of it has to do with having 2 little kids. So I'm trying to get things done quicker.
I mean, oh, that's understandable. I mean,
Yeah.
I love working. I love not working even more.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought it could be a good topic of discussion.
So something that I used to do things a lot because I'm like, oh, this will look good, you know? And then I stopped. This will look good now. Now I always think about, if I put all of this in there, I'm like, after 3 years, is any of this going to be there? Is what I give them going to be the product, or is it going to be like cool now and then not as cool as it was later? I try to be as true as to what is going to be there for the longest. That way that what I give you today, when you see this thing like 5 years later, you're like, it looks exactly like the day it was done. I want that. You know, I don't want the day it was done, it had all this like really cool white highlights and all of this other fucking bells and whistles and shit like that. And then it doesn't look like that anymore. And you realize that in tattooing, you have to let go of some of that kind of shit, you know, of just like that's cool and all that. You can do it, but you probably shouldn't do it, you know, because for the long-term value of the tattoo, it's going to bring, I don't know, man. That's just what I think.
But are we tattooing for the long-term value of a tattoo, or are we tattooing so it gets more likes on Instagram?
It depends who you talk to, right?
Exactly.
It depends who you talk to.
Do we care about longevity anymore?
Like,
you know, it's on the
shit.
internet forever, right? That's good enough.
That should be good enough. That should be my portfolio.
Yeah, it is.
You know, like I don't buy that. I don't buy that shit. I want to know that if I see a tattoo like on the street and I see that shit, I'm like, fuck yeah, I nailed that shit. It looks like a solid fucking done tattoo or not. And I look at it, I'm like, oh man, you should really come by for a little touch up real quick, because some of those fucking things I put in there aren't fucking there anymore.
Yeah, over the years, I learned to do my tattoos more traditionally. Like, as I saw a lot of the older new school shit I was doing was coming in the shop and half the tattoo's gone.
Yep.
Because there's not enough black in it to hold it together. You know, so as the years progressed, you know, I start tattooing more neo school because it's illustrative tattooing, but it is, you know, it's got lines in it, but it can still be fun like a new school tattoo.
Yeah.
I had the same realization. I used to do new school a lot when I was early on also. And same thing. Like I was like seeing things come back. My orange lines weren't there anymore.
Gone.
I was like, this doesn't work.
Yep.
Maybe I should make those black instead.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had those moments in tattooing because I, you know, in like 2006, 2007, a lot of people were doing, I feel like that was like a renaissance of new school kind of around that time. I feel like.
Yeah, it was still early. Yeah, I mean, new school was still pretty big.
It was still big.
Coming out of the 90s.
But then I feel like it started doing, like people were doing more of like what Timmy B.
Timmy B, yeah.
Yes, you know, like the Timmy B.
And Kelly Doty.
And Kelly Doty's and stuff like that. And
that was the new school.
the new school.
Yeah, what was definitely different from the old new school.
Correct. And I feel like some of the things that Timmy can do, Timmy can do.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've seen a lot of people try to replicate it.
I'm one of those people. I mean, I don't even know how many times I'm drawing a tattoo and I'm like looking at what did Timmy do on this tattoo?
How did he solve this?
How can I do this more like how Timmy does this? You know? Then I look at my tattoo and I'm like, fuck, this doesn't look anything like what Timmy does.
It's like, oh, man, that's why it's so important to just find your own voice.
It's tough though. As an artist, I love art. I love seeing other tattoo styles. I love
Same.
tattooing other stuff. Like I love doing colored, new school, illustrative tattooing. But shit, 2 days ago I was doing a black and gray realism skull because I still like doing that stuff every once in a while. If I see something cool on Instagram that's a new style of tattoo, patch tattoos, sticker tattoos, I'm like, that's cool. I want to try it. I want to see if I can do that because I like that style of art.
I want to give you a big clap just for being somebody that loves the new school. And just, are you saying that I just did a black and gray skull the other day? Dude, like fucking, dude, Jesus Christ. And you're a busy artist, And that means that you're not, above doing something that's outside of your style,
right?
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking crazy.
I take a lot of I would say not a lot. I'd say probably a quarter of my appointments aren't the typical creepy Jason stuff. It's the stuff I'm not going to post to Instagram because it's stuff that people don't want to see from me. Like it's not going to get the response from it that the normal shit gets, but I'll take up realism stuff. I'll take black and gray stuff. I'll take fine line stuff, dot work shit. I like doing different styles of tattooing.
I think we're in the business of making people fucking happy, dude.
That's kind of gotten lost, Like I get it. Like we're all here to make ourselves happy. That's important.
I'm here to
too.
make my art, bro.
I'm here to make my bank account happy, But we definitely want to. We're here to make our clients happy. We're in the service industry.
Yeah, like go make people happy. You make one person happy. If you did that black and gray skull and you did a great job and you kept them happy, they're going to go to somebody else and be like, go look at their portfolio. Go look at their Instagram. They're going to see a bunch of new school stuff and they'll be like, I'm going to get that new school shit from this guy.
Right. Yes.
That's how it goes, man.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to, turn away clients because.
Do you think that's how I don't think that's how it goes.
I think it goes like that, bro.
I think that black and gray guy that you did the tattoo on would show his buddy and the buddy would be like, oh man, that's cool. I want a black and gray tattoo also. Let me get tattooed by that guy. Get that black and gray tattoo.
That's what happens. And I don't even know how many times I would say yes to a project that's not something I would normally want to do. And that project would evolve into something much bigger. And then I'm stuck doing a multi-sitting tattoo of something that I just wanted to do in one sitting. And I'm like, fuck.
But that's because they like you.
I know. And I'm like, fuck. Because it does, yeah.
It's because they like you.
And then I shoot myself in the foot being like, why did I take this? Why did I want to do this?
So I'll tell you an example, right? I have one client. It's Frank. So Frank, the first tattoo he ever got from me, his friend has a black and gray sleeve from me. And when he came to me, he's like, I want to get this black and gray, like fucking... He wanted a gladiator. He wanted like the Colosseum, all of this. Full sleeve. So we spend a lot of time doing this sleeve and talking and getting to know each other throughout all of this. Of course, he asked me, what's your favorite shit to tattoo? I love to do Japanese tattoos, dude. Guess what? Now he has 2 full Japanese leg sleeves and a fucking full Japanese sleeve that's still in progress. And we're going to do his full back in Japanese and probably his front at one point on in Japanese. He only has 1 black and gray sleeve. That black and gray sleeve was our getting to know each other, building rapport. And for him to get to the point, there was like, you're my dude, bro. And I fucking love the way you do shit. And I just like getting tattooed by you. From now on, we're going to do what you think is dope.
Yeah, I got clients did the same thing.
Yes.
So it isn't always a bad story.
It's never always something like it's not a definite, You can turn it around and make that client see how passionate you are about what you want to do. But that's when you have to really sell your ideas.
Right.
And learning to sell your ideas is one of the most important things that you can learn to do in tattooing. And that's why I think a lot of the generation that is coming up now, they're losing that, man. They're just losing that because they're not.
So Jason, let me ask you something. When somebody asks you to do a tattoo that's not new school, do you ever try to talk them to do it into a new school style first before you agree to do the black and gray realism?
No, not at all. Like it's my appointment requests. It has they can send references, and a lot of people do say I want something new school, I want something illustrative, But if they don't want new school, I don't talk people into new school, But if they don't say new school, if it sounds like a new school tattoo, I'm drawing it as a new school tattoo.
Yeah.
But there have been probably people who wanted something weird, but I was like, I think this idea would work better as like a neo trad tattoo, and then I'll draw it up like that. They'll still get it, but maybe they wanted a new school tattoo, but I feel like sometimes subject matter just translates better into different styles.
I agree 100%. I have a client that I only tattoo like once every 5 years. And he came to me, he was like, I really want to get tattooed again. I want to get a rubber duck. I'm like, all right, that's cool, but we're going to do that new school. He's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I guess a rubber ducky could be pretty cool as a neo-trad style, but like to me, that just automatically screams new school.
That's a new school tattoo.
He's like, all right, cool, let's go for it.
Well, that's what the black and gray tattoo was too, that I did a couple of days ago. And it was, you know, it's like, this is something like, you can do this in color, but it's a fucking skull. It's a realism skull. Like, they look cool black and gray, you know? And now she wants to get like cemetery stuff around it on the other side of the arm. And I'm cool with it because it's, you know, macabre and dark and weird stuff I can enjoy doing, even though it's black and gray. And typically it's boring as fuck.
I just thought of like a really bad situation where it's like somebody comes in and they're like, oh man, my dad died the other day. I want to get a portrait of him. Dude, let's do a real new school. Yeah. Let's fucking blow it up. Make it real goofy, dude.
Dude, I was like, if your tattoo is important to you or meaningful, don't have me do it. Like, I'm not the guy for a meaningful tattoo. You want dumb shit tattooed on you? I'll do dumb shit.
They're like, it'll be fun, dude.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. We'll have a great time. It'll be tight.
What did you tattoo this week, Heather?
Today I started a really cool roadrunner surrounded by cactus desert flowers.
Yeah, I like that. You know what came to my head, like as you were, because you're doing it more like illustrative, like very close to what a roadrunner really looks like. I was like, how cool would it be if she did the whole body like that, and then on top of it is like a picture of the cartoon roadrunner's face, like. I was like, yeah, that would be sick. Or behind that roadrunner, you have like cartoon coyote with his like fucking fork and knife, like ready to go to town. I'm like, oh, that'd be hilarious.
I don't think he'll go for
I don't think he'll go for it either. But in my mind, I was like, oh, that would be so cool.
I bet you could sell it though.
I could send it to him as a joke.
You can sell it. You can sell it.
Like, hey, dude, how about we put a Wile E. Coyote behind this realistic, like freaking roadrunner?
Yeah.
I'm like, that would be.
Or just do like
so
an Acme anvil right over it.
Yes. Oh man, I feel like it's funny just to have. Oh, hello. People always watching shit. That's always good. We've had people walk in and be like, "What are you guys doing? The fuck does it look like we're doing? What does it look like we're doing? What's your question?" But what did I do this week? I worked on a snake sleeve and I worked on a dragon sleeve. I worked on 2 sleeves.
That snake that you're working on has come out good.
Thanks, man. Dude, that snake is really big.
He's a big guy.
Because he's a big guy. Taking forever. Shading anything individually, like when you're doing scales 1 by 1 or like on a dragon or a koi, or it just takes forever.
Big guys, do you like warn them that they're big guys when they're setting up the consultation? Be like, hey, you're going to pay a third more than everybody else because you're a big guy. Like, I'm sorry about that, but that's just the way it is.
I told this to another big guy that I'm tattooing. I was like, bro, you should be paying more for clothes than I do because you're using more everything.
More material.
More material, dude.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's more coverage, you know?
Yes.
It takes longer.
Yeah, because he said that. He said, it was like, oh, man, this is costing a lot. I'm like, yeah, because you're a big fucking dude, bro.
Sorry.
You're a big guy. You signed up for this. But I'm grateful for all these big dudes that I tattoo because, goddamn, those tattoos are big and they take forever.
Get away with more shit in them too, which is always nice. Like, I always like tattooing big dudes because I'm like, it's not like a normal skinny forearm, you know, it's like a big ham forearm.
Yeah.
I can get away with tattooing like a thighs tattoo on them. Yeah, so it's great. Get away with doing cooler shit.
Yes, I agree. It's fun, and I've been really lucky in the past few years to just have people that really are not tight about, they're not being nitpicky about what they want. They're like, oh, just do your thing.
Well, I think it's a lot has to do with the show. I think the show gives credibility to us as artists and lends to people trusting us and our vision.
Yes.
A lot, which is
absolutely.
great because, you know, like to tie back into the graphic design thing. I did graphic design before I was a tattooer. You do like a business card sized ad for someone and they nitpick every font and you change it 3 times for $100. And then I design a back piece for $5,000 and the guy doesn't even look at it.
He's like, yeah, it's fine, bro. I trust you.
Yeah, he doesn't even care. That's like, they just want whatever I want to do and they're cool with it.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
That's why being a tattooer is sick.
It's the greatest job in the world.
So that's why, would you rather learn how to do reels and be a successful tattooer or go get a fucking regular job making just a certain amount per hour doing something that you hate to do? I know you hate to do reels or hate to do social media as a tattooer, but if it helps you keep your job and food on your table and money in your pocket, what's better? Doing that or learning to fucking go dig a hole like a dude that works construction out in the fucking sun for less money?
Right.
And that shit's rough and that's hard. My hands ain't built for that, bro. Right. I got girly fingers, bro. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. So, I don't know. Be grateful, guys.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, I hate it. I hate being on social media. I hate having to edit videos and post stuff. I hate having to post my life. Like, I enjoy my private life being private. You know, like, I'll post stuff every once in a while, but I'm really bad at social media and content creating, you know, because I don't enjoy doing it. So it's like pulling teeth for me to have to get me to make a video because I'm like, fuck, man, I just want to post pictures of tattoos. That is it. Like, I didn't sign up to make videos and shit like that. I signed up just to do cool tattoos. Yeah. That was it. So like now I got to put all this extra work in on the back end, you know, and it does pay for itself, but like that's the part that feels like work to me.
That's the part that feels like work.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I could probably outsource that to someone and just have somebody edit my videos for me, you know, but then like, do I want to end up paying for something like that? Well, actually, that probably is a good idea now that I think about it.
Like I just said it out loud. It made sense.
Like, man, why don't I just outsource somebody to edit my fucking videos? Man.
You're like, yeah, just put somebody on staff, put them on salary.
Yeah.
And they got to come by once a week, twice a week, and do all that for you. Send it to you.
Damn, it's a good idea.
If you're a busy tattooer, that should be part of your budget.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, for what we make in tattooing, we could afford to pay someone, you know, a couple bucks to edit videos for us.
Yes, make your job a little easier.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I got an assistant who does my emails now for me.
Yeah.
I was like,
that was the first thing that I wanted to get rid of.
I hate doing emails, man.
Hated doing emails. And now I figure I'll tell you guys like the way that I do from the beginning to end. I'll tell you my format of how I run it. And I feel like my format is fucking awesome. Works for me really, really well. And it limits emails to 100. Like it just limits it to like 2 emails at the most. So somebody wants to get tattooed, they're going to say an email and they're like, hey, I want to get tattooed by John, blah, blah, blah. They're going to get, yeah, absolutely. John likes to start with a consultation. If they send me a DM like, oh yeah, man, I'd love to do that. I'd like to start with a consultation. And I'm going to send them a link. And that link is hooked up to my calendar to then set up a consultation appointment. I only do consultations at 10:30, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Early in the morning when I'm still holding my coffee.
Is it like a Zoom?
No, not always. Unless I have to look at the person, we are only going to talk on the phone. Unless they really, really want to look at my face early in the morning. Then, yeah, we can FaceTime. And I'm calling people from my phone number. There's no like, even though I could just get like a dummy phone that's also like a digital.
Like a burner?
Yeah, like a burner or whatever. But no, I just call people from my phone. And I'm going to call them and we're going to talk about their tattoo, usually for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. When I did consultations in person, they would be 30 to 40 minute conversations.
Right.
Yeah, because people want to get their time, like the value out of it. Like, oh, I spent the time coming all the way down here. I'm going to make sure that it was worth it.
As soon as I started doing consultations over the phone without seeing each other or anything, the power is with my words. That's where the power. I don't have to draw anything. I am literally just working better at relaying my ideas to this person of what their tattoo could be. And as I'm talking to them, I'm seeing where the emotional part of this comes at, like why it's important to them. Why do they want to get this tattoo and how we're excited about that? And then I'm going to know what they want, and really at the consultation point, all I want to know is that I want to do I want to do this? Do I want to take on to this project? Do I want to take them as a client? Do I want to invest my time in it? That's really all I want to know during the consultation. After the consultation, I'm going to send them another link, and that's to book their appointment. And through that link, it's going to link them up to my calendar. They're going to be able to put down a deposit, and then that updates directly into my Google Calendar. They're going to get a, confirmation and that's it. And then I'm going to see on the day of their appointment.
Damn, that's a pretty good system.
It's fast.
Wow. Yeah, dude, that's great.
That's it. There is no back and forth talking, none of that. There's none of that. It is, oh, you want to get tattooed by me? Cool. Let's set up a date to talk.
Oh,
we
man.
talk on the phone. 10, 15 minutes. Tops. Most people, 10 minutes. We're done. I've had consultations for 5 minutes. And they're like, yeah, dude. Yeah, I love your dragons. I want to get one. Cool. Where? Right here. Sick. All right. This is how much it's going to cost. This is I don't tell them what days I'm going to do it or anything. No. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how long it might take. This is about a budget of like how much, how many sessions this might take. And they're like, cool. Like, so what's your availability like? Cool, dude. As soon as we get off the phone, I'm going to send you a link so you can book in. It'll tell you this and this and that. You can book a half day session or a full day session. The price will be on there and that's it. Cool, man. Boom. Done.
Damn.
When you have people book multiple appointments, do you have them book all of the appointments, or do you have them book the first one and then you fill in the rest?
No. So after the first appointment, I have like a secret link that's not available for other people. Like they can't just like pull it up. So then after I do my first appointment, it's a multi-session piece. Then I'm like, here, when you want to book your next appointment, then I send them this link. And then that link lets them book an appointment without having to put another deposit.
You wait for them to come in for that session?
They need to have their first session complete before I give them the rebooking link. And then that booking is for just existing clients rebooking.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That sounds like, what is it? What service is this?
I've been doing this through AbToto, and I just recently changed over to Keep the Fees, actually.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, I just recently changed to them, and it's still the same format. It's just somebody else in the back end, moving things. So as I know more about like the Keep the Fee system and everything like that, I'll share it with you guys at one point or another. But most of all, it's the same system. It's just words being typed out and that's it. It's just more of like how you go from the point of contact, to booking an appointment. Are you going to go back and forth 10 emails asking like, oh, well, where do you want it? Like, I like how you do it too, man, where you just send them a form saying like, all right, fill all of this stuff out so you know it. But I like the level of let's talk because that is
connective.
I want to show them that I'm excited about what they want, like that little bit of like, you can't sense excitement through emails unless you put a bunch of exclamation points and shit, but in that conversation, we're going to talk for a little bit, we're going to connect, man. And then after that, it happens in person. So there's like personal from the beginning to end. I want to build that connection. I want to build that personal feeling with my customers and my clients.
Damn, I miss that. Like pre-Ink Master, when people would just walk in the shop, they would have a consultation right there. I get pumped on their idea. They see I'm excited. They make an appointment. I take a deposit. They leave. Like I miss doing that. That was fun. So I feel like that's a great compromise to the system that I like now. That's more efficient. It doesn't require as much face time.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, because it cuts down a lot of, I feel like there's an amount of reassurance that you're giving your client when you talk to them and you show them that you're excited about the tattoo and that tattoo is going to be sick.
Yeah.
You don't have to draw anything.
They're sold. That's it.
Yeah.
They're sold.
They just know that you're excited and you see that they're excited and you're like, oh, it's going to be sick, dude. I can't wait to see you on that day. Book that shit.
It'd be the biggest ball sack on that tit. They don't even care.
They don't care. They're like, oh, it's going to be fucking sick.
So cool.
And that's it, and that makes it efficient and fast because ain't nobody got time for that, bro.
Because we're all editing videos now.
I gotta edit videos,
man. I can't talk to people anymore.
I gotta post my reel by 11 a.m., bro. But that I feel like that's worked for me very well. And yeah, man, if you guys adopt something of the sort, let me know if it works for you. But I feel like it works really well. I feel like a lot of people don't like to talk to people. That's why they're like, just email me. I don't want to go back and forth.
Right. I like the emails because it's efficient, and it's easy. If they fill the form out online, it gets sent to me as an email. If they become a client, we print that email out. That way we can take hand notes on it. And then it goes into a filing cabinet, so their appointment comes in, I got notes. So that way, if I got to draw anything that's too specific, I can refer to the like handwritten notes.
That's key right there. Whenever I used to do in-person consultations, by the time I would have to draw it, I would forget everything. And I'm
Yeah.
so screwed. So that's why I like the emails, or at least the form, because I could always refer back to it. When I do my consultation or when I have people fill out the form, it's usually not for a couple of months before I start drawing that design. I won't remember anything
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so emails are clutch for me.
So I'll add to the whole thing, right? So if I have something very complex, you know, if somebody comes with like, I'll tell you the last very complex idea. This guy goes, I want to get a back piece of me and my dad, but we're skeletons. And we're standing in front of a Cadillac. And I'm like, what kind of Cadillac? You know, like this kind. And then I Google it and I'm like, okay, I see what it is. Right. And we're wearing this, right? There's a lot of very specific little subtle details of that.
Pass.
You know, most people will be like, pass. And I'm like, this is a challenge. Let's do it, you know? And during that consultation, as he was talking all these things, he was on speakerphone and I'm just typing in my notes. And I create a note with his name on it and all of the things that we're talking about. Then after we have the consultation, I'm gonna send him the link to book his appointment. In my booking, you know, list of things that he has to fill in, a required thing is have a detailed description of your tattoo. And at that point, he's gonna put in all that stuff. And then all he has to do is like say a couple of things in that detailed description, and that goes right into the notes in my Google Calendar so I can see it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. And then if I need more, then I can just go back to my notes. Right. And I'm like, oh, there's everything else that I put in there that was part of that. And that makes it a lot faster.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. It's good.
I know. I should fucking put it on, put it online or something.
Yeah, market it. Put it on a PDF.
Yeah, put it on a PDF, bro. And that helps out, man. That's helped me be a lot more efficient with booking appointments. And most of all, keeping because, man, something that I would hate was having like people come in to do a consultation. And in New York, you know, it could be like they took the train for like 40 minutes and that consultation was done in like 10.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, now they got to take that train 40 minutes back. So it's like, was that really worth it, dude? I'm like, I don't know.
But then, you know, I mean, how much time are you supposed to give them?
Well, that's the problem. If the person takes all that, like what Matt said, you feel like you got to give them more because they took the time. Yeah, like you owe them. You know, like, nah, man, this will be super quick over the phone. We're going to talk. We can see each other if we need to.
Right.
And that's it. And if you want to get tattooed, you're going to book. And then we'll see me in person.
Yeah, I like it. And doing the Zoom meeting, you can look at skin.
Yes.
Know? Like if I'm fitting something in between two other tattoos, like I want to see that.
Right. Like sometimes you need to, sometimes you don't.
Right.
You know, so like when it's situations like that, I'm like, yeah, dude, we're going to FaceTime real quick. And you're going to show me that tattoo I need to cover, or you have to fill a weird spot. You can screenshot it.
Right.
Save yourself some time.
Yeah. It's a pretty good idea.
Cool.
What else is good other than we're almost up?
I don't know, but while you think about it, I'm going to thank our Patreon supporters.
Hell yeah.
We got 1, 2, 3 new people. Actually, you know what? We got a question also if you want to spend a couple of minutes answering a question.
Yeah.
But first, let's thank our Patreon supporters. Everybody who supports the show gets the after show, which is only something that you can get on Patreon. And if you go to patreon.com/honest-tattooer, you can help support the show, get the extra content that doesn't make it into the YouTube and the audio stuff. But this week, we're thanking Andrew Penaloza, Tracy King, and Joe Sinner Tattoos. They all jumped down this week. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all of you guys. And please don't forget to like and share this freaking video if you listen to this long, because it really does help us a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please hit that bell and notification button, because that does help a lot.
So we got an email from one of our Patreon supporters who wishes to remain anonymous. And he goes, I have a question. This is a long email. I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing. I have a question. I appreciate your insight. Let's see. Hold on. I'm very grateful to be at the shop that I'm at. I have a good relationship with majority of the crew. However, there are some colleagues that are sometimes challenging to interact with. Sometimes comments are made that pretty much rob me of my joy of times, and it's hard to explain because it's not hazing or anything like that. A small example, I was enthusiastic to see what someone was working on, and I mentioned how cool it was, and they were just really bitter about it. I just kept moving and went back to working. In short, it's a bunch of small things like that to where it's not a big deal in the long run, but I keep having these moments where it's just like I'm tired of the bitterness around me. Not saying it needs to be sunshine and rainbows, but sometimes it's like we all got problems, but I don't think it's cool to infect your misery to others. So my question is, how do you guys deal or handle with people with that kind of that kind of negativity?
Fire them.
Fire them. Oh man.
So he's an apprentice.
He's an apprentice. Yeah. Oh, bro, eat it up and fucking.
Yeah, this is kind of what your apprenticeship is about, right? It is a hazing process. Like you have to endure a little bit to become a tattooer, in my opinion. You know, apprenticeships can't be easy.
No,
like, you got to give them a little bit of.
They want you to quit, dude.
Yeah, like you got to show that you want to be here. That's part of the process. Is me pushing you to see if you come back.
I have a something similar to this person's experience. So this was my first job outside of my apprenticeship, and it still sucked. And it was at Big Joe's, and it was like my first or second day, and I'm working with these guys, and I go like, I'm laughing at it because it's already so funny. I'm like, hey man, what do you think about where I place this stencil? And he's like, I don't know. You're a tattooer. You should know. Dude, that was the answer. And he just went right back to tattooing, bro.
Damn, that's savage.
Yes. And guess what? 6 months later, we were fucking homies, dude.
Yeah.
It took time. It wasn't like the first day, oh, we're cool because you're a tatter, I'm a tatter. No, it took time. And after that, we were homies. But it took time to earn that respect. It took time for me to be treated like one of the crew and all that stuff.
Damn. My apprentice, Lexi Eckerd, is amazing tattooer. And I got a great story of some shit that I did to her when she was an apprentice. So she did a couple of tattoos, and I wasn't cool with them. They weren't the level I thought they should have been to be posted on Instagram, and she didn't take them down. And I was upset by this. So I had her give me the money for the tattoos, and I put it in a candle jar, and I lit it on fire right in front of her. And I thought it was going to be really cool. I thought it was just going to go up in flames, and it didn't. I kept having to relight it over and over again, And the point I was trying to make was like, when you do bad tattoos, you don't get paid, and now I don't get paid. Nobody gets paid for bad tattoos.
No.
And that jar is still sitting on her desk today with burnt up $100 bills in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a daily reminder for her now.
And I was just saying, it was, like I said, probably not the best way to teach a lesson like that, but I feel like you have to sometimes be a little creative with the way you teach people.
I agree. I feel like that's, she still has that. It's a reminder.
Yes.
She might do that to someone else one day.
Yeah. I mean, you do a good tattoo.
Hurt people.
Yeah. Well, I did. I mean, it hurts the business. Like, it hurts everybody. You do a bad tattoo, and then
it hurts the shop.
Their friends aren't coming back. That hurts the shop. It gets on Instagram or it goes on the Facebook community page. It's like, it's bad business for everybody in the shop. So like, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. That's even when somebody gets a tattoo to the shop and they, let's say you're having a bad day and you're dry or kind of a dick to somebody. All it takes is one fucking bad review to then just bring everybody's money down in that shop.
Yes, dude. It is a big deal.
Everybody's money goes down.
Yep.
Everybody that wants to walk in, now they have to fucking fight that bad review.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yep.
Or even like without the review, if you do a half-assed tattoo and it walks out the door, that's 10 people a day, 20 people a day that are going to see that tattoo. So if you have one shitty artist in a tattoo shop, it kind of brings us down.
It brings
without a review.
It does. It brings everybody down. So do your best.
Yeah. And going back to this guy's question, I feel like it's not even just with tattooing. There's going to be people that are in your office, in your store that you work at, you just don't get along with.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. It's fine.
Of course, you're going to want everybody to like you, but that's not always the case. I worked at a tattoo shop where one guy that I didn't get along with would quit, and then another guy would get hired, and it would be the same fucking situation. I just didn't get along with these guys. And it went on for like 10 years. Just random people would come in and we would butt heads. And we were cordial with each other, that we didn't like fight or anything. but there was definitely like this tension in the room that it's like it was just me and this one other guy on that day. There were like no words exchanged at all.
Oh my gosh.
The tattoo would be done and pack up out the door. Don't even say goodbye. Just like, all right, I'll see you next time around.
Fucking hate that.
Oh, that's so
I hate it. You know, like just today, like we were all tattooing and we were all talking about fucking Apple top 100 albums, right? But I love the fact that everybody that was around somehow just chimed in on it and we all talked and we all shared a fun conversation together. That makes the person that's getting tattooed, their time feel like it's moving a little bit faster, just other than just thinking about, I'm getting fucking just blasted real quick, you know? And overall, it makes my day just feel better.
Yeah.
Like I got to hang out with some people and just have a good time.
It's fun.
Yeah. Tattooing should be fun.
Yes, it should be.
And not every shop is going to cater to your feelings. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like a little, I know I probably shouldn't be like the most old school, like, your apprenticeship has to suck. You have to suffer, you know, like tattooers need to be hard and tough. And I was like, maybe they don't need to be anymore.
Yeah,
you know? Maybe that's just my way of thinking is kind of outdated. You know, it's like, and if you don't like the people you work with, well, then don't work with them. Like you can just go get an apprenticeship somewhere else. If that guy is that much of a problem, then just leave.
And I was going to say that even if that guy's a problem, dude, just let that fucking shit motivate your drive to just be a better tattooer than them.
Right.
That's exactly what I did. So one of the guys that I worked with, he was such a fucking dick too. Like I would be tattooing and he would be tattooing his client and me. And there's this one story that I was tattooing a friend of mine. So we were talking back and forth and the other tattooer, he was getting annoyed that we were talking. So he went over and turned the radio up a little bit. So now the music's a little bit louder. So we would have to talk a little bit louder.
Yeah.
And he went up and he fucking cranked the radio as loud as he could. And then he came back, he started yelling at us. He's like, I can't concentrate because you guys are talking. I was like, how are you going to concentrate now with the radio blasting so loud that the people next door can hear it? It doesn't make any sense.
What an idiot.
I forget where I was going with that now, but yeah, that guy was an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, so what I was going to say was that guy, because he was such an asshole, he was 10 years ahead of me at that time. I mean, he still is, but he was 10 years ahead of me tattooing for 10 years longer than I have. At that moment right there, I was so determined. It was like, I'm going to out tattoo you. I'm going to make sure that I'm better than you so that people want to come in and they come to me and not you. And that was like my motivation. So
you probably are tattooing better. I look at people who have been tattooing for 2 years now and they're tattooing better than I was at 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, man, young kids, they are picking this shit up real fucking quick.
You know what this guy's doing now? He's working pest control.
Nice.
Oh, God.
He was such an asshole. Nobody wanted to get tattooed by him anymore. He had to quit, and I was doing pest control.
Look at that.
You know how I know that? He went to my neighbor's house one night.
Oh, shit.
He went to my neighbor's house, and he was doing like a bee removal. And so he's across the street now. I'm pulling my garbage out to the end of the street, to the end of the driveway, and he sees me, and he waves. And I waved back. I didn't realize it was him, and I just walked back into my house. And then a couple of minutes later, I forgot something. I had to bring it back out. And he was like, Matt. I was like, oh, shit, dude. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, this is my job now. I'm like, all right.
You quit that?
All right.
Yeah. Kill bugs.
Yeah.
Damn. That's sad.
He was super nice to me.
Of course.
Super nice to me.
Oh, life will humble you with time. With time, life will humble you.
It's like, how much would you charge me for this sleeve?
That'll be $10,000.
Good versus evil sleeve.
Oh, shit.
Oh, well, to that apprentice, you kind of like have to just accept that, like, they're walking in that day just to like say things to get under your skin. Like, you just got to let it roll off your back and just like make you more determined to just like get better every day. You can't let it like make you go home and you're like stirring and like thinking about it over and over.
Yeah.
I think with time you become better at that. And then like you're going to work somewhere and possibly not really like someone that you're working with, but in the end, you're there like to do your job, not to cause drama, not to be passive aggressive. You don't have to love everybody you work with, but just don't be an asshole.
And the harder you work, the faster you'll get out of that position that you're on. Nothing sucks like being an eternal apprentice. That sucks.
Yeah.
And you should be like an eternal apprentice to tattooing. Like you always want to get better at tattooing, but not just like being shot bitch eternally.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That sucks.
No, you're just wasting everybody's time at that point. Well,
Yeah.
I guess not really. If you're doing setup and breakdowns all day for everyone,
They love
that's
it.
pretty useful. Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
guys, thank you guys so much for coming through. Jason, thanks so much for taking a trip up,
Oh yeah.
visiting us.
Yeah. Anytime.
And Heather, thanks so much for filling in for G Money.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Any recommendations?
Oh man. I mean, shit. I mean, if I had recommendations right today, a recommendation would be to watch Three Body Problem. That was really good. That was a really good series about aliens and shit like that. And it was really, really good.
Okay.
You almost didn't watch it, and I was like, just give it.
I know.
Give it a chance.
I watched like 30 minutes of it. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. And then she was like, no, it's really good. And I was like, fuck. After like an hour and a half, I was like, this is really good.
Okay.
Yeah, really, really good.
I'm going to recommend it's a little bit. It's only like a week or two old, but it's old in my mind. I'm going to recommend the Roast of Tom Brady. Hilarious.
So good.
So funny.
Yeah, you told me to watch that, and I was like, God damn, these are the best 3 hours ever. It's so long.
Oh, no shit. I will recommend Furiosa, the new Mad Max movie. Just
Okay.
saw it the other day. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
If you like Fury Road, it's pretty cool. They got a 15-minute long action sequence that took 78 days to film.
God
Wow.
damn.
The whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, I wonder what the storyboards
For this
like,
was that.
because there was so much going on. Like in every corner of the screen,
Damn.
something was happening. It was so
Okay.
cool.
Sick.
Nice.
Heather?
It would have been Three Body Problem.
I took it out. Well, that should goes to show that it's really good.
Yeah.
'cause two people recommend the same thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.